Hello, how's everyone doing on this wonderful Friday evening? We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today. Vibes from the Six is back. We got a lot to discuss. Premier League weekend's coming up. And you know what? It's been a while. It's been a while since we've done Vibes from the Six, but we got to do it today. We got to bring the panel on. We got Manchester United versus Man City. Kevin De Bruyne saying goodbye to Manchester City. You got Ruben Amorim. Some Man United fans already want him sacked. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Is it time to see Ruben go? Or could he even last till next season? I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is a possibility. You also have Nico Williams being linked to both Arsenal and Chelsea. Very interesting there. You also have Arsenal being linked to Victor Gyokeres. What are we going to do with Gabriel Magalhaes' injury? There's so much to talk about. Mo Salah, has he signed a contract? Reportedly, he was spotted doing an advert for Liverpool getting ready to announce the new deal. So that looks like it's pretty much wrapped up. And finally, Ange Postecoglou cupping his ear after losing to Chelsea and having the goal disallowed anyways. Hilarious. His fans want him sacked. And Chelsea, you know what? No more protests. Their fans might be happy now that they're getting top four. Very interesting stuff. But yeah, let's get the show started. Let's hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's bring it on. So we got Vader in the building. We got Ahmed in the building. The rest of the boys are going to join as they join. But while we got Vader and Ahmed here, we got to talk about some stuff. First things first, Vader, you heard some big news today. Big news. Your boy, is he your captain? If I'm not mistaken, he's one of the captains.
Yeah,
He's one of the leaders in the dressing room. He's one of the main men at your club. He's been there for a decade. He has been a mainstay, and probably everyone in the league will say at this point he has been a staple in the league for the last 10 years as one of the main guys. And it is official.
yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne will be leaving Manchester City at the end of the season. How does it feel, man?
It's the news. To say that it was shocking,
It's not shocking.
no, it was. It was shocking for it to be said now. It was shocking for it not to be something that was at the end of the season.
So now you need to say a proper goodbye, you know?
No, yeah, of course. I think the fact that he's doing it the right way, right? When you're giving bad news, because we saw this kind of play out a little earlier. When you're a man, you're going to give that bad news, and you're going to live with the consequences. You're going to let the fans know, this the final season, and he did that. Unlike a young man who's going to learn his way in Trent Alexander with what he did over at Liverpool, but with what KDB did and what he's delivered for Manchester City has been tremendous. Like, you get some fans that said he's overstayed, right? You'll get some that say he's been here too long. Well, what are you going to suggest, that he should have left 2 seasons ago? Well, if he leaves 2 seasons ago, there's no trouble. There's no UCL. If he leaves last season, and he did help us last season, not as much as he has in past seasons, but he did help us in the 4P. So anyone that wants to tell City fans or wants to say, oh, KDB overstayed his welcome, he should have been gone 1-2 seasons ago, well, you're taking away the two most incredible moments at Manchester City with regards to history, a treble and a 4P. His letter, which I have on screen over here, his letter spoke to how important, the league's been to him. It's been a decade. You said it in your intro. 10 years at the club, and he's given us everything. And in addition to giving us everything from trophies, he gave us his body, because his hamstring was a cost to him, and why he looks to be washed, why he looks to not be at the races right now. He gave us everything. And I'm very happy for what he's been able to deliver. Also, I want to say this player isn't a quote unquote Pep signing. You know how today's football, everyone wants to talk about, oh, the manager's got to get his signings. This was Pellegrini's signing. He was here before Pep. He's actually the last to remain. He's the last to remain of the players that have been here. And we've seen the likes of David Silva, Yaya, Company, Clichy, Sterling, right? We've seen all these players go. He's still here. And I hope he gets celebrated the right way. I hope the fans that were talking about him being old, him being washed, especially City fans, respect him and celebrate him while he's here. And that we go and we try to at least go out and have him raise his armpits one more time with that FA Cup. So, yeah, man.
What about you, Ahmed? As a rival, did you appreciate Kevin De Bruyne while he was here, or do you feel like it's difficult as a Man United fan to do so?
I think Kevin De Bruyne, yeah, like, is a very good player. Like, I rate what he's done. Like, his passing ability, his crossing, his weight of pass, the way he unlocks defense, I rate it. He can shoot with both feet. Like, he's a very good player. I do believe, yeah, that he's been massively benefited by Pep's system, though. I'm not saying I do believe that because with De Bruyne, he's had quality players around him, like the Rodris, the Fernandinho, the Bernardo Silva. So there's a lot of players that have done a lot. Like, I know he might get the assists and the goals here, but there's a lot of players around him that has also helped him to allow him to play his game. And with Pep, like, he's a quality manager, got the best out of him pretty much. And like, yeah, man, like, I think he was a very good player in it. Like, I don't know when it comes to the best midfielder in the Premier League. That's where I disagree, but I do appreciate his qualities because I do.
Whoa. What? You don't think he's one of the best?
I think that there's two midfielders in your team that have played for your team. Sorry, that I put above him, in my opinion.
Wow.
But so you don't think he's even Man City's best ever midfielder?
No. Not that I've seen. I've seen two midfielders that are better than him, in my opinion.
Name them.
I believe Yaya Toure was a better player than him, especially at his best, and I believe David Silva as well was a better player than him. Like, I know Kevin De Bruyne's got the output and he's got the longevity, yeah. But I'm talking about in terms of like how they played the game and how good they were. David Silva's close control, the way how he was maneuvering. Yaya Toure was untouchable that season. Like,
can I ask you, how do you do that for your own club? How do you rate your best midfielders at your own club?
My best midfielder for Man United?
Yeah.
It's Paul Scholes.
So it's Paul Scholes based off of all the things you just mentioned. You think that his peak, him as a player, was better than any other midfielder you had at United?
I think in terms of what he offered and what he did was unbelievable. Like, like, as a footballer, Paul Scholes was quality. Like, he didn't get like the output in terms of like the other midfielders, but I believe Scholes, yeah, like, it's not even about longevity. It's about what he was doing in the game, controlling the tempo, his passing ability, his range of pass, big game player, came back from retirement and won us a league title. So, yeah.
That's interesting because I put KDB as, I mean, there's a difference with regards to my favorite players at City, but then with regards to greatest player, and when I put greatest player, I look at what they've done while at the club. And this player in KDB, when Ahmed kind of talked about, oh, he's been surrounded by great players, and that's why I want to ask him the same question, because over at United, definitely Scholes was surrounded by great players. So KDB had that same benefit. What KDB was able to do, no disrespect to the Yaya, who's my favorite player, even the magician himself in terms of David Silva, but KDB gave me that elusive treble. He gave me that elusive UCL. KDB also was here for 10 years, just like David Silva, but he gave me that four-peat. So I put him in a different category. And when we want to talk about, and I will never dismiss longevity, but I will also want to put in perspective the longevity and the output. I believe KDB is second on the all-time assist list in the Prem.
Is he?
I don't. Is he? Is he not in the Premier League?
Who did he pass? Cesc Fabregas.
Is Cesc Fabregas second all time?
I think so. Isn't first is Ryan Giggs, right?
Yeah, I believe Giggs is first. I think
honestly
it's
thought
KDB.
I thought he was gonna break it. To be fair,
I didn't think KDB was gonna catch. I didn't think he was going to catch. I believe KDB second. The chat can let us know. But I think KDB, with regards to his output, if he's not second, he's third. But I believe he's second. And then with regards to goals, he's up there in goals. And when you want to compare that to a Giggs, when you want to compare that to a Scholes,
people are comparing him to Lampard and Stevie G.
No, he's already surpassed those guys. I'm not having that conversation.
Both of them.
Yes, he surpassed both of them. It's not even a conversation. With regards to the Prem, he's passed both of them. It's a conversation with regards to Scholes only, and the reason why I have him higher than Scholes is because of what he's done. For all you want to geek out, nerd out with the numbers, look what KDB delivered with goals and assists. Look at what he did. And he's better than Scholes in both of those categories. If you want to talk longevity, Scholes definitely has them. But for 10 years, when we want to talk about impact, I don't think we've seen a better 10 years of a midfielder with regards to what KDB's delivered.
Ahmed, did you hear what he said? First of all, he rates Scholes higher than he rates Steven Gerrard and Lampard. But then he also says Kevin De Bruyne is ahead of Steven Gerrard and Lampard. You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry, did he say Kevin De Bruyne's ahead of Lampard?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not even mad about that. Like, I'm not really too mad at that. Yeah. Steven Gerrard, though, and I believe Steven Gerrard was a better player than De Bruyne. But Lampard, that one I can understand because I think Kevin De Bruyne possessed way more. I think Kevin De Bruyne possessed better weapons to his game than a Lampard. Like, I believe he was a better passer than Lampard. He was a better shooter than Lampard. I think Lampard's goal tally was unbelievable, but that's his role in it. But they're kind of different players. Like, it's very different. We're kind of comparing different midfielders.
Did you say Kevin De Bruyne was better than Scholes?
Nah, no chance. No chance. Scholes is the best midfielder I've ever seen, bro. Like, in the Premier League, in my opinion. I don't think any Premier League midfielder touches Paul Scholes in terms of what he's done. Like, I think he's like quality, man. Like, it's not even a bias thing about United, bro.
Yeah, someone said, put my comment up. Ahmed, he said Kevin De Bruyne is better than Scholes. Vader, did you say that?
Yeah, I did.
In terms of what?
What do you mean in terms of what? I believe
what does he?
I think KDB's a better assister than Scholes.
I mean, but again, in terms of yeah, you got to understand that like this. Kevin De Bruyne.
What do I have to understand?
I'll tell you what. I'll break it down. De Bruyne.
Wait, hold on, Ahmed. Is he not a better assister than Scholes?
No. But you're let me just break it down. I'm going to answer you. Don't worry. Kevin De Bruyne, yeah, in terms of where he operates in the midfield, it's not where Paul Scholes is. So he's a lot further up, and he's essentially coming from that right-hand side, yeah, and whipping them crosses. So naturally, he's going to get more assists. Paul Scholes, it's like comparing, yeah, it's like comparing Xavi to. It's like comparing Xavi to De Bruyne. Like, it makes I
don't want to do any of that.
They're completely different.
I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to do any compares Xavi or anything. I'm saying KDB midfielder in the Prem, Scholes midfielder in the Prem.
Yes, Scholes is by far. Yeah,
no, but here's what I'm saying. KDB in the Prem as a midfielder outperformed or delivered more assists than Scholes, your guy. And when we want to talk about longevity, for as long as Scholes played, KDB in his 10 years in the Prem has assisted more than him. So I give him high ratings for that. Also, when it also comes down to I believe the only player better than KDB, the chat can tell me if I'm wrong. I don't read the chat. Is Giggs, and Giggs has more assists than your guy Scholes. And I know it's different positions. I know all that, but I'm saying
you have KDB as the Premier League GOAT midfielder.
I believe KDB's the greatest midfielder we've seen in the Prem. For what he's done in his 10 years, longevity, different conversation. In his prime, different conversation. Because what I saw Yaya do, I think that was the best. That was the best in his prime season that I saw from a midfielder. But for the 10 years that I saw, of KDB and what he's done, I have him number one. Obviously, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to be a City fan. Like you, Ahmed, I saw Scholes play as well. And so it's splitting hairs, honestly. And I wouldn't fight you. You saying Scholes won, I wouldn't fight you on that one. But this is me looking at KDB, and he actually played a lot further up than what he originally was doing with regards to Pep. Pep often played him as a right winger.
KDB will be forgotten. No one rates him. That is,
bro. Like, it's not even a bias thing, because I actually believe, like someone said I think Fabregas was also a better player. I also mentioned David Silva and Yaya Toure, but the thing is of Paul Scholes, you're mentioning about assists, right? But assists, yeah, you can't really use that as your argument, because it depends what type of assist you're getting, and two, where's he operating on the pitch. It does, because because the thing is, yeah, as a midfielder, if you look at Iniesta, if you look at Zidane, if you look at I don't know how many assists Pirlo got. If you look at Xavi,
I
they're all
don't want to talk about La Liga.
No,
I
no.
don't want to talk about Syria.
No,
Keep
but
it
I'm not.
within
You're missing the
Barcelona.
point. Egal, he's missing the point. He's missing the point. Yeah, you're
Okay, go ahead.
talking about a player in Kevin De Bruyne where he operates much further up in the pitch, and his sole purpose for the team here is to create chances for the striker and for the wingers and Leroy Sané and Raheem Sterling. That's why he bagged so many goals, because of them whipped passes, essentially like what David Beckham was doing at Man United, right?
No.
So comparing Kevin De Bruyne to Paul Scholes here, one, it makes no sense just because he's a midfielder. It's like comparing Busquets to Iniesta. They're two different roles, but what Paul Scholes did in the midfield in terms of running a game and dictating the game and his range of pass, coming back from retirement, you talk about longevity, yeah? Scholes has longevity. He's got the most Premier Leagues for a midfielder, big game player as well, scored in big moments, and he's also like I said,
Yeah, you told us 3 times already. He came back from retirement. But you
yeah,
want to talk about
but at
Busquets?
38 though, at 38,
Yeah.
that's abnormal.
Pep did say he would
He
have
did it.
Scholes in his team.
Yeah, it was also a different time. So when you want to talk about KDB being further up the pitch, you want to talk about Busquets. So who should I be comparing Scholes to in this day and age in terms of football?
You want to compare Paul Scholes, you
Okay.
compare him to the
What
likes
is the
of-
most memorable?
One second,
Kevin De Bruyne
Miguel.
goal?
I should be comparing Scholes to who?
You should be comparing him to the likes of Pirlo, to Xavi, those type of
In the
players.
Prem, my friend. In the Prem.
In the Prem, I mean, stylistically, there's not really a player like Paul Scholes in the Prem.
See how the argument goes, Egal? So would I compare Scholes to Lampard and Gerrard, or would you
No.
argue the same thing? We shouldn't be comparing these guys.
Ahmed, what's up?
You can compare them because they're
Why are
midfielders.
you in the car again, bro?
Okay,
You
but
take me back
so
to
when I
somewhere.
do that, sorry, Egal, when I do that, then you tell
Yeah,
me
because it's a Friday, bro. I'm on my way back to work, innit? So I always get a ride back to work on a Friday. That's why.
Oh, okay. I thought the only reason why you're in the car last time is because you're at the masjid. But we're talking about Kevin De Bruyne now, and we got into a GOAT midfielder debate out of nowhere. By the way, they both consider Kevin De Bruyne clear of Lampard. But where does Kevin De Bruyne land for you, and what do you think about him leaving?
I think from obviously a City perspective, it's a big loss, right? Because I think Kevin De Bruyne clearly was like the number one guy in creativity wise, if that makes sense. And it's a big loss. I think, listen, KDB probably is one of the best players in terms of that position. No doubt about it. Is he clear of Lampard? I mean, statistically speaking, that's not true. So therefore, and plus, as a Chelsea fan, I'm also biased.
Wait, what's
sorry,
stats? What do you mean stats statistically? What do you mean by that?
in terms of goals and assists, that's what I mean. Goals
Oh,
wise,
goals and assists.
Lampard
Ahmed
clears
doesn't
it.
like that. Ahmed doesn't want you using goals and assists.
You know what I mean? But listen, I'm doing that as a bit of a bias. I've got obviously a natural bias to say Lampard over thingy, so they will understand. But
I
listen,
get it.
one thing I will not deny is that KDB, is he a top player? 100% he's a top player. So listen, losing him is big, and the thing for me is the replacement is going to be the bigger issue, right? And I'm sure Vey himself understands that. I know they're willing to work. Is can Foden step up into that, role? I think this season it's been a bit. I think this season, if anything, I don't think it's necessarily shown that he can really fill
Well,
the
what about
boots.
Champions League finals? Champions League finals,
Let me-
he's in
No,
big
no, no,
moments.
no. No. I get what you mean,
Back
Ahmed.
out.
But I'm talking about though. I think there's a difference between the Champions League final, which is a big moment, and then the week in, week out. Who is providing me an assist, a goal, or helping the team creativity in a week in, week out basis, right? That's what wins you leagues.
He's been very good for Man City, but it's not like they have not won Premier League titles without him. Like I'm saying, he obviously added quality, but I remember there was a time when he was injured for like a certain amount of period, but they still won it. So what I'm saying is that I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm not saying.
No, I understand what you're saying, Ahmed, but my argument would be that he still was their number one guy, bro, creative wise. Yes, in those seasons where he was injured, they were still able to compete because they still, one thing Man City has over Arsenal, over Chelsea, all other teams, that they still had quality players in different positions, bro. They had Mahrez at the time. They had other guys at the time that could still step up to do his job. I think this season, more than ever, it's shown you, when he goes down, when you don't have a KDB there, bro, can a further step up for you in that position? Not necessarily. Can a Doku do that for you? Not necessarily. Not a Savini, right? And I'm sure they understand. This is not me, obviously, like trying to cook a Man City. I'm just trying to just being objective right now. Yeah. So yeah.
Where do you think Lampard stands?
I think for me, Lampard, he has to be top 3 of all time in terms of like Premier League. In my personal opinion, he's in the top 3. There's no you can, and there's literally no way you cannot deny that, bro.
Top 3.
Going forward,
That's
top 3 of
high.
all time,
That's quite high.
bro.
To be...
For me, bro. Listen, listen. If there's one thing, yeah, I hate to use numbers, but but in Lampard's case, bro, you know what he was doing in a season, giving you per season, offensively, defensively, creatively. Like for me, yeah, you know, we talk a lot about players and being the overall package. Like for me, there is no other way to put it. Lampard was you got the full package from Lampard, bro. Defensively, offensively, and everything else in between, bro. Generally speaking, bro. And the numbers show it to you, bro.
So where do you have KDB all time? Because some people have KDB as the greatest. Some people have Paul Scholes as the greatest. Some people have Steven Gerrard as the greatest. I don't hear anybody saying Lampard's the greatest. They just have him in the bunch.
The problem, a big problem with that is that I think this is where nostalgia kills us, right? Again, guys like Scholes, nostalgia, in my personal opinion. Yeah, at the end of the day, when he was on the pitch, bro, you know what I mean? The numbers don't lie. You know what I mean? You know what they say, man. You know what they say, man. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie, bro.
Yeah, but numbers are also like, bro. Like numbers
and listen, listen, numbers. The numbers don't lie, bro. The numbers don't lie.
By your logic with numbers, is Salah better than Hazard in your opinion, or what?
If people give that argument for Salah over Hazard, I hear it.
Not what people. What do you think? No, like I'm asking. Like,
listen, you didn't hear my point, Ahmed. I said if people give that argument, I understand it. I can hear that point of view. But that's why this is me being like a neutral guy. But I think for me, when it comes to Scholes, yes, for Scholes quality, what he did on the pitch, yes. But
he's on mute.
Lampard and Gerrard, yeah, is that we diminish Lampard's numbers severely. Like we're like, yeah, nah, just because he was in a Chelsea, bro. What he was doing in our team, bro, is the only guy that you can really argue in modern day football that can do what Lampard is doing right now, and even I would argue he's not even doing it to the level Lampard was, is a Jude Bellingham, bro. Right? So I think for me, at the end of the day, bro, Lampard, bro, the disrespect that Lampard gets, I think is very, very disrespectful, in my personal opinion. And people need to really do their research.
Kevin De Bruyne was scoring and assisting at a very high rate. Maybe not at the same rate as Lampard.
That's why I give KDB. I will give KDB his credit, right? But when people talk to you about Gerrard and Scholes, bro, I don't care, bro. Like they were in the same era. Scholes even had just as good as a team as Lampard. Yeah, so there's no excuses, in my personal opinion, about him not getting those goals and assists either. So
you do realise that Paul Scholes' role in that team was not to score an assist. He had Wayne Rooney doing that. He had Ryan. Wait. Let me just.
Lampard had Malinda. Lampard had Anelka, Drogba, Ruben, Zirko. So he didn't need to do that either.
No. Because the thing is with Paul Scholes, when he first started off, I'm pretty sure he was a striker. I think someone can fact check that, right? He was even scoring goals when he was box crashing and he was shooting inside the box. He could do that. He could do what Lampard was doing, but his role specifically in that Man United team, was not to get goals and assists. So trying to judge him on goals and assists, and put Lampard ahead of him is not a logical take, because what he was doing, Lampard can't run a game the way how Scholes was doing it. No one can do that, barring maybe Xavi. He can't run a game. He's not got the composure to do that. He can't. Neither can Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne can't run games. He can't run it. Like
that is crazy.
Running a game, single-handedly as a midfielder is a lot harder, to getting goals and assists. It's a lot harder skill.
Listen, you can be good at a lot harder skill, but at the end of the day, bro,
and Paul Scholes is there without numbers.
Is that for me? My issue with that argument is that I would actually argue KDB. There were games where he ran. I know Vega would agree with me when I say that.
Let me stop it there.
Right.
Kevin De Bruyne, Paul Scholes, Lampard, Steven Gerrard. Put them in order. What is the order?
Who's going first?
I'll go first because it's KDB's time. Right? He announces retirement. I would go KDB, Scholes, Prem all time. I put Lampard ahead of Gerrard. Prem. Because what you deliver in the Prem matters. And I put Lampard ahead of Gerrard.
Scholes has got the most league titles out of all of them then. If it's purely Prem.
No, I didn't say.
But you put Scholes ahead of him.
Okay, so come on, guys.
Scholes ahead of Lampard.
Just pick one.
Okay.
in order.
All right, so
Uh,
go on, Ahmed. Go on. Sorry, go on.
I'm gonna say Lampard, KDB, Scholes, Gerrard.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say Scholes is number 1. I'm gonna say Steven Gerrard number 2, KDB number 3, Lampard number 4.
Wow. Wow.
So that's my list.
It's
got
very
like
difficult.
number 2, a guy
Because with Steven Gerrard, yeah, like I don't like Liverpool, but you got to take it into account, yeah, that he wasn't always blessed with a great team. The likes of Lampard and Kevin De Bruyne, he was doing it with scrubs essentially.
You got another Kevin De Bruyne champion right here, and he must be gutted. One of his favorite midfielders leaving. We're doing the age-old debate.
Oh my God.
Scholes, Lampard, Steven Gerrard, and Kevin De Bruyne. What do you say?
Don't bring Scholes' name to KDB. You know, like it's cheeky. You know, it's like listen, Scholes is like
the best midfielder in the Premier League. I know, yeah.
Bro, listen, you're young, yeah. I don't know how old you are, yeah.
25.
I'm 30 plus VAT, and I'm gonna tell you straight up now, yeah. Like in real time, yeah. I don't remember people talking about Scholes like this in real time. Yeah, in real time, Scholes was getting pushed out to left wing for England. Yeah, while they started a Gerrard Lampard pivot. Right.
What's England got to do with anything?
It's got to do with the fact that you're too young, yeah, to talk about the.
He's talking about I'm too young, yeah, but I've seen Kevin De Bruyne stink out for his country. We can use that debate.
Okay. At what point? Okay. At what point are Belgium expected to win something? Like, as in,
now what they expect to win something?
Belgium, the nation. When at Belgium,
when you had that golden generation, yeah, when you had what's his name, you had Tielemans in there, you had Company, you had Alderweireld.
You're talking about Tielemans when you're playing against people like Kante and Pogba.
Hold on, you had
Tielemans.
You had Eden Hazard, yeah.
Tielemans is your golden generation.
You had Eden Hazard.
To talk about why didn't you win things?
You had Eden. Hold on.
Hold
on. You had Eden Hazard as well, who actually put his country on his back, unlike Kevin De Bruyne. You had Lukaku there. You had Company, Alderweireld, and Vertonghen, who were based as the 3 best centre backs. By the way,
like listen,
Courtois.
I'm a Tottenham fan. I've had Alderweireld and Toby as my centre backs. Good centre backs, top centre backs, even. Not better than the creme de la creme.
You can't say what they expected to win. He had a good team, and then he failed.
They were never expected to. Belgium have never been the favourites for any tournament.
How did Croatia reach a final, by the way? Because Modric carried.
All right, guys. International football, forget about it for a second.
Bro, listen. Okay, so listen. Yeah.
What is you're not putting false goals in this conversation.
He had to bring up to try and nobble KDB.
No, this is interesting. You don't have post goals as number 1 or number 2.
No, neither. Why would I?
Number 3.
He's in terms of best midfielders in the Premier League ever. For mine, he's barely in the top 5.
See, that's rage beating, by the way. That's rage beating.
No, bro, listen, it's funny because listen, the most important player for arguably the best team in the Premier League era, yeah. Why doesn't that give him plaudits? Yeah, when was Scholes ever the best player at Man United? Yeah, he wasn't.
I can debunk that.
What do you mean you can debunk that?
I can debunk it, yeah. You know what's mad, yeah? You know what's mad? This is what happened.
Don't go off on a tangent.
No, I'm not. I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer it.
All right.
KDB is comfortably City's most important player over the last 10 years. Yeah, comfortably. Yeah, I'm not saying what's your order? World class and very good. I'm saying he was the guy that turned them from good Premier League team to dynasty. What's
your order, bro?
My order, I think in terms of however you want to chop it up in the Premier League, I don't think anyone has a more compelling case than KDB to be number 1.
Wow.
I genuinely don't. Because if you look at it, Team of the Year did that. Yeah. Player of the Season did that. 6 titles in 8 years, 9 years? Yeah. Most chances created, most GA in of any midfielder in that time period. The credentials you use to judge KDB versus his peers, I don't think there's anyone that can touch him. You can say, but he didn't have the longevity that KDB had. Yeah? So, to me, people will start talking about things like
KDB's the GOAT.
they'll start talking about Belgium. They won't talk about Man City. They won't talk about the Premier League.
You started
They
it
won't
with
talk
England.
about
What are you talking
KDB.
about? He started it with.
All right, guys. I don't want to go on a tangent too long on KDB. We spent a lot of time on this. There is one more topic on Man City. There's a major overhaul at Man City, and they could have literally a bunch. Like the team is getting gutted. They're saying. I don't know how believable it is, but Vader, I seen a list. And I'm just gonna show you guys the list because this is ridiculous. I seen a list of Arsenal players leaving, and I'll be honest, majority of those players can kick rocks and we won't hurt the team. Where you guys, it's Ilkay Gundogan, Ederson, Doku, Kevin De Bruyne, Stones, Bernardo Silva, Jack Grealish, Kovacic, a young academy kid in McAtee, and your backup keeper. They're saying this whole list of players could be headed out the door at Man City. This is a major overhaul of starters or key bench players.
Yeah, no, the list is extensive. I mean, when you think about what it's really going to take to get back to that consistent, dominating type form, you're going to have to get some players that have been here and some players that haven't been performing out the door. Now, I don't know if that list is realistic in terms of everyone going. All right, but those are all the players that potentially could leave. Tiki has actually said he's going to stay on a little longer than leaving, right? So he's going to help with this whole transition. I think when you have the likes of a KDB or a Gundogan or a Bernardo Silva, when you think of our midfield, those key players potentially leaving, you're going to have to go out and get quality. So it's going to be a very interesting summer. We're going to have to be incredibly aggressive and aggressive in the sense where it's like, if we're going to get the label of ruining football, overspending, you know what I mean, buying titles, this is the summer to do it. But we all know if you're going to get talent, you got to spend for it. You spent over 100 for Rice, right? United was spent high 90s with regards to players. Chelsea have 200 plus million signings as well. So if we're going to do it,
$1 billion, bro. Don't forget.
Wait, what?
They spent $1 billion. Remember?
They spent $1 billion, but I mean in terms of like individual players, you know what they spent on Caicedo, what they spent on Fernandez. So we got to do it.
We're gonna be all over that the whole summer. Each one's gonna leave one by one. Next,
I will say this, Igal. Hold on, before you say next, I will say this: if anyone's doing the lazy, I got City as favorites next season. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'd say Arsenal arguably should consider themselves like.
Especially if you do what we're supposed to do in the summer.
I considered Arsenal favorites, and Igal, like you were thinking that you were going to potentially win the league. So I'm saying. I'm looking at it from the point of view of saying, first of all, I think City need to be incredibly careful about the quality differential that they bring into the team. Like, you've got to be careful about not paying top money for not top tier talent. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm City, I'm only looking at Wirtz for that number 10 option. Maybe even to a point. I can't see any. I don't see anyone else that I would feel confident to give the keys to City's number 10. Like,
it's hilarious.
I don't see anyone else in world football. Like, even, you say someone like Musiala, if I'm City, I'd probably just bring like Morgan Rogers back if you want that kind of profile. Because I won't go and pay Musiala money for spicy Morgan Rogers.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like,
there's no point. I like Morgan Rogers, but do you rate Morgan Rogers higher than who? Like, do you rate him higher than? Do you rate Gibbs White higher?
I think that similar level.
Yeah,
maybe
you rate Xavi Simons higher.
Maybe like Gibbs White is a better passer. Rogers is a better like ball carrier, dribbler. Like they both have.
One is a better goal scorer. One is a better creator.
That's what I'm saying. But then you start getting at that. That's where the level is. It's like the Eze's and the Gibbs White and the Rogers. Wirtz is up here, and he's the only one who's up there.
Jamal Musiala's up there.
Musiala's not. No, he's not.
Musiala's up there. What are we talking about?
Okay, how much is Musiala going to cost you if you want to buy him?
120.
Okay, so now I'm asking you: is Musiala worth 130 million right now to go and play number 10 for City? Absolutely not. But Wirtz is.
Hey, I think they're the same value. But let's see.
No way, bro. Wirtz is like Elise has gone to Bayern and he's doing a lot of the playmaking now. And I'm just saying, Wirtz has taken a big step up in terms of like personality and
But
character.
he also plays in a smaller team, so he's gonna have more weight.
He plays for the Bundesliga
Rack,
Champions
welcome.
League.
Welcome, Rack. Let's quickly
Sorry.
move on to the next topic. We just spoke about Kevin De Bruyne. You missed
Can
it.
I just say on KDB, respect to the guy, man. He's a Premier League legend and
Best Premier League midfielder of all time.
Look, all I'm going to say is it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, and he, as any football fan would agree, he's given us some of the best moments in Premier League history. So respect to him, and wherever he goes, big up, man.
Would you put Paul Scholes above it?
Thank you, Rex.
Guys, I have a hard finish at 8 o'clock. We gotta keep it moving because there's so much stuff we haven't spoken about.
Why'd you say guys? You should have just said Jay.
Hey, no, listen, don't let Man United fans run agenda on Paul Scholes.
All right. As we're talking about Man United fans running agendas, Ahmed, Ruben Amorim out. What are you saying? By the way, there's Man United fans saying this, not just him. There's somebody posted on Twitter yesterday. Ruben Amorim is officially the worst manager in his lifetime watching Manchester United. 22 points out of a possible 57 is a disgrace, he says. And Manchester United look horrendous, clueless under this manager, and have not won back-to-back games in the league since he's taken charge. Worse than Ten Hag.
Facts, bro. Like, you know what's crazy with Amorim, yeah? Because he came in halfway through a season and he's a new toy, people are willing to give him a pass. You know, anything he does, yeah, is going to get swept under the carpet because he speaks really well. He comes across really well. It sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I mean, he says the right things, but what I'm seeing on the pitch is the complete polar opposite. At the end of the day, this is Man United. I've seen Juventus sack Motta when they're 5th. I've seen other managers get sacked for doing much more. Madrid are on Carlo Ancelotti's neck, 13th. And I'm pretty sure the first 19 games for any manager, he's got the worst win percentage. He's lost 9 games already in the Premier League. I think he's drawn about, is it 6 or 4 or maybe 1-6? And I can't remember, but he's lost the most. Ten Hag sacking Ten Hag was the correct decision, but the issue is that we done it too late, right? But Amorim has actually made us even worse in terms of like the players that he's got, because people have got this thing in their head, yeah, it's the players, bro. I swear to you, I say this example so many times. If I go to a Brighton or I go to a mid-table club and I tell you, hello guys, do you want Mazraoui? Do you want Lenny Yoro? Do you want Heaven? Do you want Delo? Do you want Xerxes? Do you want Kobe Mainu? Do you want Casemiro? They're going to be like, oh my God, bro, this is paradise. You're giving me all these quality players. And the manager, yeah, is not registering back-to-back Premier League wins. This is a disgrace, bro. It's an absolute abomination. And the fact, yeah, I can guarantee and I can promise you that if this was any other manager they did not want to come in at the door, they would be saying, this guy is clueless. I mean, his football is horrendous. He's not really improved anyone. I look at all the players that we have, like, not really improved them. People say Amad Diallo, but bro, the only reason why Amad Diallo is performing well is because he's getting the minutes that he never got under Ten Hag. So his talent was always there. It just needed more game time. The Premier League finishes awful. Knocked out of the FA Cup against Fulham. Knocked out of the Carabao Cup against Tottenham. Our only chance is now Europa League, and that is not even a guarantee. So if we're out of the Europa League, if we lose to Lyon, we're out of every single cup. We're shocking in the league. Why should he get a window? I mean, it's crazy. Like, why should he get a window if he's literally been knocked out of every? If he was like cooking in the Premier League and he was performing and he was like, the football is good and everyone's improving, then I'll be like, you know what? He's improving with the current players that he's got. Give him a window. Give him more quality players. How can you guarantee a manager if he's not getting the best out of what he's got now? Why give him more players?
Does anybody think Ahmed is being too reactionary, and instead of sacking Ruben, they should maybe give him another transfer window?
I think for me, I was like, listen, I'm not saying he's not wrong, but the problem is more about it's Ineos, because it's like I look at Ineos and I say, are they going to give this manager enough money to redo the squad in the image they need it to be for him to be successful? So the answer is probably no, but there's also the point of you sack the manager because you believe that the team is doing worse than they should be doing
100%.
based on everything else being equal. Therefore, swapping the manager should result in a material improvement.
Not just swapping any manager, by the way. Not just like getting a new one in. Actually getting a manager that suits the players that we've got and will maximize.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So my point is that if United had hired like De Zerbi when they hired Amorim, same time, they'd probably have like 10 more points. Because the players they have it would have just been able to work with them. I'm not saying that it would have worked out perfectly forever. It just would have been a better.
De Zerbi's football is more suited to the players we've got.
Exactly.
What do the 10
my
more points do?
My point I'm looking at here is, I can see where Ahmed's coming from in terms of, well, if we're not going to give this guy the players, he's not showing that he can get a great tune out of what we've currently got. But sacking 2 managers in the space of 6 months is insane.
Chelsea did it.
Chelsea
did it. And Ahmed,
you were a sporting director.
Were you pro getting rid of Graham Potter?
He's frozen. It's not.
By the way, we didn't appoint Ten Hag. It was the Glazers who appointed them. Just saying. Ineos's first appointment is Amorim. But yeah.
By the way, do you have any hopes for the game versus Man City?
They actively chose to keep him, right?
No, 100%. I agree. Ineos are frauds for that. I agree with that. I agree. Ineos are a mess. But do I think we're going to beat?
Forget about Ineos for a second. What about this weekend? Are you worried? Or are you kind of like, it is what
I'm not worried. Listen, we're trash here, but I'm not worried against Man City. Like, I'm not worried about us in terms of the big games. Are you crazy? Like, bro, come on now. Like,
no, he's kind of right. In the big games, they turn up.
In the big games, yeah, we took point. I'm not gassing this up here. You know me, innit? But we took points against Liverpool, knocked out Arsenal in the FA Cup. In big games, we tend to do quite well, you know. Like, so at the end of the day, I'm not scared of Man City. The only thing that I am is that there's no Haaland. So, and Marmoush, like, I'm more worried about him in particular because I feel like he offers more. So we'll see in it. But yeah, bro, we beat them last game. Huh?
So many sneak disses. First, you're not scared of Man City. Then Haaland gone. It's actually a benefit to Man City.
It is a benefit to Man City, bro. It is a benefit because, bro, like I see Maguire lock up Haaland, so I'm not really scared of Haaland like that. So with Man City, yeah, we just need to nullify them in it and just hit them on the break essentially, because you know defensively they're pony. And then yeah, bro, that's what we have to do. Because even Arsenal, we almost done it against Arsenal. Yeah, but Man City, there's nothing to be. There's nothing to be scared, bro. There's nothing to be scared. At best, yeah, it might be a draw. It's probably a 1-1 or a 2-2. But if we win, I won't be surprised.
This is the derby, so like I'm familiar with the energy, and I'd be the same way when it's playing United. I can't really call it whether it's home and away. They're always difficult games. So Ahmed's attitude with regards to, you know what, it could be a draw, it could be they could win, they could lose, they could lose. He's not surprised. I'm the same way. But I do find it kind of funny, and I see it often. You know what I mean? We've seen it in our lives, you know, growing up, school days. Oh, I was ready to fight this guy, but he's so lucky he wasn't here. I was gonna whoop him if he was here. He can say, "Oh, yeah, you know what? Haaland's not here. Yeah, it's actually it's better for us." I'm not afraid of Haaland because we usually lock him up. Yeah, when the bully's no longer around, it's easy to say that. He scored so many goals for a reason, but I think we don't. I don't think we lose as much in terms of past seasons when we lose a striker because we do have Marmoush. And when we didn't have Haaland, we also had Julian Alvarez. I think Marmoush is doing his part, and he's been playing well. So the derby on the weekend, it's a must-win for different reasons. It's a must-win for City because we're trying to stay in that top 4, top 5. Ahmed's got kind of like, I don't really care. It doesn't really matter.
What? Talk about that for a second. Are you worried about Newcastle, Chelsea taking top 4 from you?
I'm currently 5th, so I'm not even in the top 4 spot, and I got one. I think Newcastle are 1 point behind me. I think Aston Villa are 3.
Wait, you're in 5th. Chelsea's in 4th.
Yeah,
Chelsea are ahead by 1 point.
Did you drop points on the weekend? How did that happen?
No, they were always ahead, but we played, ended up in 4th. They had a game to play, got back to 4th. So. Yeah, it's going to be contested. This is where the entertainment is. This is where all eyes are. It's the top 4, it's the top 5 battle. So the point gaps are really close.
What's the score going to be on the game though?
I'm not predicting any clean sheets, even though we've been able to kind of do that as of late. I think we got a decent undefeated streak kind of going on here. I could see us. I could see us scoring 2-1, and it's going to be nervy at Old Trafford. I could see it being a 2-1.
What are you saying?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be 2-2. 2-2.
2-2. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And also we don't have Diallo, unfortunately, so that's a big loss because he cooked them.
Diallo's good defensively, but offensively he's terrible, bro. You're better
Wait,
off
what?
without. What?
Amad Diallo's terrible offensively.
Yeah.
Amad
No,
Diallo.
not Amad Diallo. I
He means
I was confusing him with Delo. My bad.
Oh, Delo?
I was confusing him with Delo.
Almost gave me a heart attack there.
Is Onana playing? Is Onana going to be playing?
I was confusing him with Delo. I don't know why I thought you said Delo. Because I seen the video clip of Delo recently with Ethan, and that's the first thing that came to my head.
Just going back. So, do you want Amorim out, or do you just think he's not been given the tools, so he's on a hiding to nothing?
Nah, I've been Amorim out for quite a while. I've made my mind up on him. Yeah, I just want him gone completely. Like he just pisses me off now.
Yeah, I love that.
Classic United patience over there.
Sorry?
The thing is, would you say that he's been given a fair crack of the whip in terms of obviously they brought him in mid-season and he hasn't got the players for his system and all that kind of stuff?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I hear what Raki's trying to say.
These guys don't care. These guys don't care.
I'm interested in Ahmed's opinion because
was Roy Hodgson given a fair crack?
Sorry,
was Roy Hodgson?
Roy Hodgson wasn't a system manager like Amorim. Amorim's got to be pretty unique. How would you define Roy Hodgson's tactical approach to football? Right, man was saying we're not too big to get relegated.
Bro, you're not.
But to be fair, if I'm not mistaken, Man United.
No one's too big not to get relegated.
Yeah, listen. What is it?
To be fair, you got Jay in a relegation battle. You got Jay in a relegation battle right now, so.
No, but the thing is, like, just to answer Rak's question real quick, do I think he's been given a fair shot? I mean, it's unfortunate he joined halfway through a season, but then again, he still had the final say, so no one put a gun to his head.
Yeah.
Did he get? I mean, he got Dorgu in. Ugarte he managed before. I mean, before the season even kicked off, like people were talking about how quite good the window that Man United had in buying De Ligt, Mazraoui, Xerxes, and Ugarte. So that window was quite solid. So he's not inheriting a bunch of scrubs. It's a good team.
Mm-hmm.
But
I heard that this was the worst United team ever.
No, it's not. I mean, the worst United team.
Yeah.
Bro, listen. Let me tell you something. Yeah, we had, listen, we had flipping Andres Pereira and Dan James, but Garnacho's not too far off. So it's not the worst United.
All I gotta say is we got 65 people watching on YouTube. Do me a favor. How do we only have 20 likes? Hit that like button. Let's get at least past 50 likes, and we got over 250 total watching on all platforms.
Let's go.
So all the people watching on Twitter, come join us on YouTube, guys. Come join us on YouTube. Jay, Rak, give us your score predictions for the weekend's game.
Sorry, I missed. Because were we doing some Bruno praise? Because listen, that's another guy. That's another one of my guys.
Oh, player of the month. Bruno was.
No one did Bruno praise, but
sorry, I was looking in the comments. Yeah, they talk. We're like, yeah, listen. If it wasn't for United City, I honestly think Bruno is like, he's being wasted. He's being wasted in a similar way that Tottenham were wasting Kane. Yeah.
Kane.
That exact kind of wasted that he's getting at United, that people are not looking at this guy for the talent level that he actually has. Because some of the players I hear that people say are better than him it's outrageous. I saw a stat before, yeah.
Bruno's too good for United.
Oh, definitely too
That's
good for
absolutely
United.
Categorically false.
He needs to leave. He needs to leave like Rashford.
Bro, I just feel like you're contrarian for contrarian's sake.
Yeah, he needs to go Saudi. That's where he should go, bro.
No, because it's like this is the thing. It's like, all right, boom. Can you name 5 number 10s in world football better than Bruno?
Yes.
Go for it.
Musiala's better than him. Wirtz is better than him.
Musiala's not a better number 10 than Bruno. But go on, who else?
Musiala's a better 10 than him. Cole Palmer's a better 10 than him.
Okay, Cole Palmer's not a better 10 than Bruno, but go on.
Cole Palmer is not actually no, you're right. He's not better. He's galaxies ahead of him.
No,
like, galaxies
Cole
ahead
Palmer's
of him.
Cole Palmer's best
galaxies
Jay, you guys analyze players differently. clearly.
So,
I'm still listening. Go on.
bro, like people won't like this. Listen, Igal's going to be surprised with which one I'm saying, yeah. And even though I've criticised him in the past in terms of big games and he needs to step up, yeah. But Odegaard's a better player than Bruno.
Okay,
Jay.
James Maddison as well. Maddison as well is better than him.
Jay,
Wow.
you know, once you said Madison, the game's over.
Maddison's better than him.
Bro, I'm a Tottenham bro. Listen, you can't pull that bullshit on me. I'm a Tottenham fan. I watch us.
Hey, what's up,
every
Where's
week
Waldo?
forensically. Bro, you can't come to me
Where's
and tell me
Waldo's in the
Bruno's
building?
not better than Maddison. Are you insane? How is Maddison better than Bruno? In what
Everything
world?
I can break it down, but it's up to Igal, innit? I know he's in.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. We got 40 more minutes. We gotta wrap this section up. We gotta talk about.
I can't, bro.
We gotta talk about.
I need to let me make my point. I wanted to make a point while I was in the car, but obviously
About Amorim?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's go.
Listen, you know, Vera knows this because I've said this before. Do you know, Vera, what I said about Amorim when he came in? I think I said it on this channel, right? We could be saying a Graham Potter, but from Portugal in disguise.
But Graham Potter at least had
I would disagree because statistically he's about to match Graham Potter actually for what he did at Chelsea during his period. He's only got 2 more games to lose and he's matched Graham Potter.
But at least he had some credit in the bank in terms of Brighton. Though,
yeah. But the point I'm trying to make though is that you know, I think for me it's been a twofold issue with Amorim. Much like Potter, he got brought into the deep end, right, into a club that was very much in too much turmoil. Yeah, and then where there was also expectations being upon him, and then there's the B issue, right? Of then, you know, he's also been brought. He got brought into a situation where the players that were there for him. Yeah, I don't think rate him enough to play for him. That's what it comes down to too. Some of these players, I don't think, I don't rate him enough to play for him. Generally speaking, on some level.
What are you saying for this weekend though? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, it's getting to the point of the season where predictions don't really matter because we
who are they playing the weekend?
We kind of know Man City and Man United.
United City.
Yeah, I hate to say it to you guys. City has to win. City, this is more of a must win for City than it is for United. So
I think United can get something though.
They could get something, but I think for me, they matter. It matters too much for right now for City generally. So I think it's going to be
City needs Champions League football next year.
How City turn up.
Imagine City in the Europa League next year. Never going to happen.
Bournemouth played against Bournemouth. City actually played broadly quite well across the whole game. They actually played quite well, but no Haaland. Yeah, the team's gonna have to mesh. Pep's got to get the lineup right. For this game, he's got to get the right balance. Like I feel like recently some of the lineups have not been right. Like they've overcome
too much tinkering.
Who am I to critique the great Pep Guardiola? I know it's tongue in cheek, but what I'm saying is like I feel Grealish should have had some more minutes. There's times I see Doku on the bench and I think he should be starting. Like the context of the side, but again, Pep's got a vision in his head of what he wants the team to do. So I feel very cheeky saying, Pep, you picked the wrong team, All
right, guys. I have to make sure this video is done by 8 o'clock or I'm gonna be fucked. So we gotta go through some of these topics quick. Jay, first things first. You lost to Chelsea in a horrific fashion, but the craziest thing of them all is this. Your manager was cupping his ears. Your manager was cupping his ears after scoring a disallowed goal to your own fans in the away X section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your fans have seen this and it's caused a massive debate online saying at this point he needs to be sacked. He's fighting his own fans after scoring goals.
Okay. To me, it was sassy. Like, first of all, like you gotta know, I laughed. I laughed when he did it. I laughed when the goal was disallowed. I laughed when I heard his reaction afterwards as to why he did it. And I see it both ways. He gets abused from some of the man. It was nice for him to be like, hey, 3 minutes after you booed a substitution, the guy scored. I'm like, if you can give it, you should be able to take it. No issue with Ange doing that whatsoever.
Agreed.
The issue is he's constantly getting into conflict with the fans. That you can't constantly, you can't say you've got a thick skin and then constantly be exposed for having a thin skin. Do you see what I mean? So my issue is that it's you scored a goal against Chelsea. That don't change the fact we're 14th. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, pick your battles. Like, I feel since the Arsenal game, I feel there's been a bit of a disconnect between Ange and the fans. Yeah. Well, I get why, but that's the moment when he's like, he might hate us. He might actually hate the Tottenham fan. I think he might, because there's a lot of Tottenham fans I dislike. So what's to stop the manager being like, these guys are assholes? Nothing. And yeah, I think he's finding it harder and harder to potentially hide his disdain for us because he's not really feeling it. And that genuinely was one of the most rattled interviews I've seen in a very long time last night.
I think he's been rattled for a while now.
Because
do you think Jay, that maybe someone said to me the other day that, the Spurs game, the Spurs versus Man City, where like, Spurs fan was saying, listen, we need to lose the game to make sure. People have said that game might have been the game where he felt like the beginning, the disconnect.
That's what I'm saying. Like that moment, like I understood.
I can't wait to hear his book when he writes about it.
Yeah, do you remember at the time I was like, we've got to try and win the game, even though I understand the repercussions. It was like, I won't be upset if we lose, but we have to try and win. Do you know what I mean? And the whole thing is that you look at it sliding doors. Okay, Arsenal would have had a title, and Igal would have been insufferable, but Spurs would have made Champions League, and they would have had a bigger budget, and maybe we would have bought different players, and maybe it would have been different for Ange. So it's one of those things where I agree with what people say. That moment, there's just been so many moments of him, having back and forth with the fans. And that's even before we get to like tactical and players.
My thought is, I think he knows the writing's on the wall. His job is gone. Like, he's not keeping his job, the only way he's keeping his job is if he wins something. And at this point, it's getting to the point where it's almost like it's mission impossible, as Jose said. Because how are you going to win with your fans not on board, some of your players constantly getting injured? Everything just seems like you're constantly at battle, and you even have your employer basically looking for a new manager during every international break. At this point, I think the Tottenham job for Ange is it's like an unhealthy work environment. You need to leave for your own sake. He doesn't seem like he's happy, or you guys could call Ange a fraud, or it could just be that your team is not equipped to play the way that he needs a team to play.
No, but he also wants.
He might not be a good man.
He also wants to see out the season, right? Because of his words. He wants to, because he would love, and any top level competitor would love to be in a situation where everyone's against him, and he comes through and as he said, he always wins the trophy in his second season. If he can do that, I actually think he might leave voluntarily, because then he can stick it up to the Tottenham fans, if you want to think about it like that. Any time, look, if any of us were there, we would want to do the same thing. We want to prove them wrong, right? And you want to go out on your terms if you're going to go out at all. So I don't hate on him for that. If he can, the Europa League is still there. It's still there.
There's no chance they're winning the Europa League the way.
For me, listen, this is my hot take, and I always say it. This is my hot take, and I always say it. I genuinely think, if Ange goes to even a mid-table club or like some other club other than Spurs, his next club, he'll be successful there. I just think for me, it's just the wrong manager and the wrong environment for me. That's all it is. I genuinely believe that's
Look at Nuno.
Issue,
Look at Nuno. Look at Conte over in Napoli.
Yeah, but at least I'll be honest. Spurs was always going to be a blip for him. Conte, if you give him the pieces, no matter what you want to say about Conte, he will deliver you a trophy.
Yeah,
even Jose went to Roma and won a title.
No, whoa.
He won a conference league. He won a conference league, but it's weird, man.
Listen,
it's true.
No, he won something. Yes, he did win something, but that's not really comparable. I think ultimately you need to take each manager on his merits, and it's not working with it at Spurs. Fair enough, but All of us would want to be in his position in the
You
sense
know
that
what?
we
There
still
is
got something to
something
play for.
though that's very interesting. Before we go off this game, Chelsea, no more protests, Ahmed. You guys win a couple games, no more protests. Chelsea are the
Oh,
funniest
that's
group of
nasty.
fans, man. They protest because they lose a couple games. They win a couple games. They forgot about the protest already. What was the point of the protest, bro? Just to win a couple games?
I don't want to get into trouble, so I'm not
Yikes.
going to say anything.
Ahmed didn't back stat. He wasn't a staunch supporter of the protest anyway.
No,
So it's not.
wallahi,
No,
Yeah,
I
it
don't think
wasn't
it's
that.
for him.
My issue, you know what it is? I've said it before. If you're gonna do something, you have to go all in. Yeah, doing one thing and then you win a game or two, and then there's silence. You know what I mean? It becomes pointless in my personal opinion.
That's what
And
it was.
that's just generally what it is. And like I don't like to do that because obviously these guys are also fellow Chelsea fans. I don't like to do criticism of stuff like that. For me, at the end of the day, it was if we're going to do this stuff, guys, we have to go all in. It doesn't matter, no ifs, no buts. It's got to be week out basis. But the man them don't have the heart for it, man. You know what I mean? Sure, I always say, man, one thing about Chelsea, bro, is short-term happiness. But listen, everyone does protests, man. United protest didn't really work.
No, it did.
Arsenal did
canceled.
protests. Arsenal did protests, didn't really work either.
United's
You know what I mean?
protest
FSG,
canceled Derby.
FSG's been trying to be taken out. It doesn't really work. That's just the life, innit, man? You know what I mean? Sometimes, bro, but none of our fan bases sadly don't have the heart to go all in.
Fan bases.
Liverpool's protest worked. They got rid of Jackson Hallet, whatever you want to call him.
Jackson Gillette.
Jackson Hallet. You're getting out of Gillette Sport, man.
No. So yeah, that's not strictly speaking
United's
true.
protest did work.
There were protests. Ultimately, it's the Royal Bank of Scotland called in the loan that Hicks and
Yes.
Gillette bought Liverpool with, and then that's what got them out because at
Yes.
that point they couldn't pay back the loan. So it's the
Yes.
bank.
Yeah,
So
the bank
big
got
up,
them out.
big up the Scottish people for you guys, eh?
Yeah, but like,
Imagine
regardless of
The Royal Bank of Scotland doesn't.
RBS doesn't even exist anymore. but
Did
it
you
would
lot
do.
also hear,
But,
by the way? Did you also hear about like how just quick here that Ange was talking about? Oh, it'd be great if Pochettino. Bro, I'll be honest. I don't even know why we consider Tottenham as a top 6 club. I don't know why we do this.
It's
Bro,
monetarily at this point.
Yeah.
It's monetarily and getting top 4 consistently. That's what we have to give. Listen, they get top 4 consistently and they're monetarily
Honestly, their stadium brings in more revenue than their
Is he
players.
trying to say the team that finished 5th last season? why
They're
they
here
can't
on.
be in the top
I think
16?
Tottenham are here just on a technicality thing.
They finished
Yeah,
8th
you're
though.
a rage baiter. You're trying to. You just no. We're not here on a technicality. We finished
No.
consistently in the top 6. Like
No, but Tottenham are they're just there in it. Like they're just there in it and just chilling. That's it. Like there's.
Hey, you know what the funny
Yeah.
thing is though? Tottenham are what do you call it? What is it? Where are you? 14th, 15th?
They're
14th
14th.
league.
This is the worst Tottenham have been in
Ever.
like the
In my life.
2000s.
bro,
This has probably been the century. It might be a century for Spurs. I'll be honest.
This
It might
is
be a
the
century
worst
for
it's been in
Spurs.
like the 2000s.
No, it's probably been the worst in a century. Like, but I remember when we finished 12th. Yeah, that season we finished 12th was the worst ever finish we've had since like 1912. Yeah, which is basically almost a century
Spurs-
When
change.
was Tottenham's last relegation battle?
Spurs have had Spurs have had a few shaky seasons.
When was their last relegation battle?
But not 14th, I don't think. Like they've been
No,
like
what
12
you mean?
before.
Like literally, like I can't like when Harry Redknapp came in, we were maybe like we were quite low after like 9 games. But this season, literally 20, 25 years, I don't remember any season like as bad as definitely not for the last 20 years.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Harry Redknapp wasn't manager 20 years ago. Harry Redknapp was in.
I'm saying within the last 20 years plus, I can't remember a season as bad as this. But the Harry Redknapp season when he came in, when one day Ramos, we were quite low.
That was 08, wasn't it? That was 08, isn't it? It was 08, 09.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. But I'm saying
It wasn't that long ago,
that's
yeah.
the worst run I can remember comparable to this.
Yeah.
By the way, the Chelsea game, not too memorable in my opinion.
But the thing is, listen, Jay, don't take this as offensive, but as we say in Chelsea, lads, it's Spurs.
It's Tottenham,
yeah. I mean, he knows what I mean. But like, I think from a Chelsea perspective, we just needed to get the 3 points and get out of there.
You still think you're a top 4 right now? You're ahead of Vader. Vader is kind of nervous.
I think for me, man, the big game for Chelsea is Sunday because you're going to be facing Brentford. We have notoriously this season been poor against a low block side. Now the positive is that yes, you got a Jackson back. You've got a Madueke back. They looked quite good when they played. Jackson, less so from a shooting perspective, but in terms of improving the way the team plays, definitely, we take that, baby. We take that, man. So, listen, Brentford's big, man. I might have to go to the bridge myself to see the game through, man. It might need to be like a Bridge Nation has to come there to make sure that, we get the win. But I think
Bridge Nation Live. Are you saying Bridge Nation Live? Is that what you're doing?
Bridge Nation has to go live, man. Live and direct. But no, but like I think I know Veta would agree with me. I think for me, because we and Veta on similar points, I think here if we can get around about 5 wins in my personal opinion, within the last 9 games or 8 to 9 games, I think for me guarantees you top 4.
I think the problem you have is Nottingham Forest and Newcastle seem to be in really good form, and I
don't need to. I just need from. I need. You know what I need from Newcastle? I face Newcastle away. I really need to. They won. They've got one game in hand on us. The 2 points behind them. But if I make sure I draw with them at the very least, the game in hand they have will just mean that they're equal of us on points. So
I look at that game. Want to do is face Newcastle at their ground.
So, to be fair, listen.
Don't do the draw talk though, Ahmed. Don't make the mistake that Arsenal fans do.
No, I will do the draw talk for their game. I will do the draw talk.
I've been here, bro. I've been here. I'm telling you right now.
Because I have to win. I have to win. I have to win all my other games. I'm considering all my other games as I have to win, no matter what. Ipswich I have to win.
Yeah, but
Brentford I have to win. Everton I have to win. Forest I have to win.
But United, it hits like a 6-pointer if you get the win over them.
Bro, I'll tell you, I've been in this position. I've been in this position a couple times. You don't want to disrespect any opponent.
I'm not disrespecting any opponent. I'm telling you, I have to win every single opponent. I'm giving Newcastle the respect.
Chelsea aren't on anything, bro. I've watched their games in it. Like they're not on anything.
Listen, we're not on anything because of your boy Sancho. No. Sorry, we are not on anything yet because of your boy Sancho is not aggressive enough, bro. Why can't Sancho shoot, bro?
You know what?
Why he can't shoot?
Are you sending Sancho back?
We're sending him back, bro. I'm paying the 5 million myself, man. I'll send him back.
All right.
Bro, Ahmed switched up like that.
I can't lie, bro, man. Listen, in my team, I switched. Well, I have to switch up.
The guy was sending me, bro.
Did it. Rack, we need you right now.
So hold on, Igal. We're not going to sweep over this. If Ahmed Chelsea happened to be 2 goals up on Newcastle going away to Newcastle, would you suggest to them to go and get a draw, or would you tell them to go and win?
You have to get the win, but the thing is, Vea, I'm saying, I have to, at the very minimum, if I can't win that game, I have to get the draw at the very least, right? I'm saying my minimum expectation is that. That's what you have to do. You come for the win, but you have to, no matter what happens, Vea, you can't go there without losing.
You go for the win at the very least.
You have to draw better. That's the point I'm trying to make, better. That's my mentality there. Because if I lose that game, bro, that guarantees me that Newcastle.
I like that attitude. No, I understand that attitude.
Rack, we need you. Come back. Where you at? Rack, where you at? Listen, guys, look away. Sad news for all the rivals. Mo Salah, he's doing his promo. New contract looks signed.
Are we sure that's true, though? Like, what? Is that confirmed that he signed?
It's legit, bro. It's legit.
Nothing's confirmed. It's nothing confirmed.
Legit. There's people saying,
that's the smile of a man on 375 grand a week.
Right. You know what it is, man? Next season, Salah. Next season, I can't wait to eat, mate. I can't lie to you. I'm going to be eating so good on Salah next season. Yeah, it's going to be a delicious meal. Because that fall off next season. Listen, I tell you this, bro. The NBA contract season, he's done it this season. Next season, man, we eating good. We eating good next season, man. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
So report from Yahoo, Mo Salah to sign new Liverpool contract. Another report coming out from Football 365 saying huge twist in the Salah contract, very close to signing a 2-year contract at Liverpool. So it's reported that it's going to be a 2-year deal, and he's gotten the terms and financial terms that he wanted. That's the report. What are you saying, Rack?
Look, I think all Liverpool fans want Salah to stay. And if he's staying, it's good news. Don't know about the pay. Don't really care too much as long as it doesn't impact our either recruitment or what we need to do too much in the summer. Same with Van Dijk, but I think Van Dijk is absolutely the priority in my opinion, but everyone has slightly different opinions. But Salah is, if Van Dijk is 100% priority, then Salah would be 99. It's very close. We need both those guys to stay. And if we supplement them with players who can make an impact, we'll be there next season. Much to the chagrin of Mr. Egal, Mr. Vader, Mr. Bridge Nation, we will be there. And I don't know if I just want to mention something. A second ago, I don't know if anybody caught this little one-liner that Egal put out there. Oh, you can't disrespect other clubs. You can't disrespect other clubs. That's just unbecoming. You can't do that. Play that clip of Egal when you drew Newcastle in the Carabao Cup.
No, I don't have.
Come on. You don't have the clip.
You don't have that clip.
He got a 4-0 aggregate beating.
So look, people are praying for Liverpool's downfall, and there will be a time when we won't be very good again, and there's going to be a proper rebuild.
Hopefully, it's very soon.
The biggest part of the rebuild, I always said the biggest part of the rebuild was always going to be when Salah, Alisson, and Van Dijk leave, because they've been the cornerstone of our success over the last 5, 6, 7 years, however long you want to call it. So the biggest part, and this pushes that date potentially a little bit further down, but there's no messing about. There's still strengthening that needs to take place, but hopefully, if this happens, we will be there next season, and we'll be there or thereabouts, and you'll have to worry about us.
Bears.
Salah Ivanovic season. I can't wait for the Salah Ivanovic season.
Any? Do you guys have anything to say on Salah before we move on to the final topic?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ahmed.
I've got something I want to say about Salah. So he's signing. So he's fully signed it, yeah.
That's what he's looking like.
That's what the rumor says.
No one knows.
Okay, but the thing is, if you actually think
rumor
about
says he's set to sign.
Okay, obviously he's gonna sign the contract because
there's also a rumor that says they're gonna wait until Trent's announced at Real Madrid to announce Salah's new contract.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, because if you think about it, he's on a lot of money right now. How old is he? 34.
32.
He's 32 years of age. 32. He's on a lot of wages.
Mm-hmm.
All the big teams, if we're being honest, he doesn't get into them. In terms of that position.
He gets into them, but no one's really.
No. I'm going to tell you why.
They're not a long-term future.
He doesn't get into that Barca team because they've got the best player in the world there. Obviously, Bayern Munich have Elise, who's quality player as well.
The Barca tax is crazy, eh?
It's not Barca tax, just me. Yamal's he should be winning Ballon d'Or. And then you've got Madrid, who've got Rodrigo as well, who's quality. So all the top teams have quality players, and then why would they overpay for someone who's not as good as them and then pay over the odds for a guy who's got how many flipping years has he got left? And it's logically speaking that it makes sense why he's staying in it. It's either that.
Okay, can I ask you just on? Can I ask you
there is logic.
I'm actually being serious as well.
How much did Barcelona pay for Lewandowski, who was 2.5 years older? Yeah, and is still playing. Salah would be going on a free. Yeah, I'm not trying to say that these other clubs would blow up their structures or their vision, but Salah's arguably the best right winger in world football. Yeah, okay, you can say Yamal, you can say Elise, you can say, but Salah's up until Liverpool got knocked out of the Champions League, people were saying Ballon d'Or Salah. So I hear what you're saying, but if your criticism is that other teams wouldn't be in for him, or
I'll be honest, man, we need him at Chelsea. I know Veta would need him.
That's what I'm not sure what the.
I said, by the way,
over Savinho. Yeah, come on.
Sorry. Even PSG. I specifically named the top teams
man.
I specifically named the top teams in PSG, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid. As in, they've all got better players in them positions.
So is Man City not a big team?
Come on.
No,
Elise is not better than Mohamed Salah.
They've already got players in those positions rather than saying they have better players in those.
They do have better players, yeah. 100%.
They don't really have better players in those positions. They just have players in that position.
You want to know something? The real reality is people want long-term or at least medium-term investments. Mo Salah, at his age
they
right
do.
now,
it
would be a short-term investment. But a win now.
Unless they have a massive hole. Elise is not a better player than Salah, but he's a player that they can build around over the next few seasons, and he's had a good season this season.
And he can reach that level. He can reach that level, though.
The number
Reach
of
the
people in the
reach
world
the
who
Salah
watch football
level.
regularly who say, at least say, for example, is better than Salah. They're very, very, very
Creativity, I
few.
would say yes.
But he's going to be there. He's going to be there longer term. They're going to build a team around it. That's why Lewandowski went to Barca. There was a specific need there, right? That's why it kind of makes sense. If you've got a need in that position,
Suarez went to Atleti.
And that's why, Gal, I would probably say, I think the thing of Salah also, Salah is also, like, I hate to
If
put
Salah
it,
was
but
a striker,
Salah
it'd be
is a
market.
Salah is also a ticking time bomb, boys, right? In the sense that the fall off is going to happen. The question is, is it going to be like the way Mane kind of fell off when he went to Bayern, where he went, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you saying
Or
he's
is
at the edge of the cliff? 1 second.
He's going to
No,
reach,
you know
he's
what it
reaching
is.
it at this point. But no, you reach it with age. As you get older, bro, you start, there's a certain point, there's a certain age.
There's a big difference though. Mo Salah is probably at his best physical shape that he's ever been at this age.
Ronaldo's probably at the best shape that he's at as well physically,
No,
bro. But
Bernardo,
we see what he
the
does.
opposite.
No.
I don't think Bernardo Silva takes care of his body
No,
the same way.
Ronaldo. I said Ronaldo. I said Ronaldo. I gave you R9. CR7.
Oh, yeah.
Man said,
Don't say R9. Ronaldo's not R9.
Sorry,
No, but here's the
I'll
thing.
go around.
Here's the thing. There's I don't know if you guys have this over in the UK, but there's the expiry date and then there's the best before date.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So you got to be careful
This
with
is nice. This is nice, by the way. I'm stealing it.
You got to be careful with Salah right now because he's definitely playing for a contract. That incentive, that energy, that mentality, you know it's there. Now after
But you know what else he's doing? He's securing Liverpool's bag for when they sell him in a year.
What do you mean securing Liverpool?
But the problem, but
Liverpool
listen,
could still sell him to Saudi.
but let's listen. Let's use this. I can use the same example again of like his own fellow like ex-former player, Mane. They brought Mane for a good amount of money. Rock will tell you this as well. From buying Bruyne for a good amount of money, they had him on a good contract, right? But then he fell off quite badly, Mane, in that season that he went there, because he got a big contract. And then they sold him to Saudi for like probably half of what they brought him for, if I'm not mistaken, right? So, and the thing for me with Salah, yes, you're probably gonna make profit on him no matter what. That's fine, right? If you sign him on a contract. But then the problem becomes, bro, there's gonna be a whole season of Salah playing poorly for you, bro. That's gonna be affecting your team, where he still may be a number one option to you, bro, in the team. If for example,
potentially, and I'd like to say this. I know you want to transition off. There's a lot of things that are being observed within that clubhouse. What did Trent witness on why he made the decision not to stick around? What did he see from the likes of a Salah? What did he see from Van Dijk to be like, you know what, my aspirations are to take me elsewhere? Rax is right now emotional eating because of things that are happening. Doesn't know about the contract. Doesn't know about Trent and Van Dijk. So it's going to be interesting. We'll just keep a close eye. But we know there's the expiry date and the best before date. So we'll be watching.
Guys.
That's why. No, last thing. Look, none of us are expecting Salah to have another all-timer season next season, but that's why our recruitment this summer is very important because he can still have a massive impact, right? Don't get me wrong. I think there's some truth in what I'm saying. But Father Time is undefeated, so at some point he's going to fall off completely. But that may be in a year, maybe 2 years, maybe we don't know. The data guys, the guys that are watching his physical achievements and sprints and all this kind of stuff, they'll be monitoring this more closely than any of us because we only get to see very few minutes. So what I'm saying is that's why it's very important we supplement around him so we're not over reliant on him next season.
All right, guys. Honest question: is Arsenal cursed?
What happened with Arsenal now?
Yes. I placed a curse on them.
Are they cursed?
No. What did you do?
No, but there's karma.
Arsenal cursed? Did you see what happened this season?
Don't mention the Gabriel thing.
Listen. A lot of teams go through this period, bro. It's natural.
Tomiyasu, Jesus, Ben White, Calafiori, Bukayo Saka.
This guy's got an infographic for everything.
Odegaard.
Listen, man. Arsenal Twitter is undefeated, man. Arsenal's Twitter is undefeated, bro. They got their graphic guys, man, on overtime.
Yeah, big up Daily AFC. That's my guy in Toronto. But
see, man, look, see, that's what I'm saying, man. They got their graphic merchants, man.
Listen, there's multiple. You want to see the other one? Let me show you the other one. Here's the other one. Well, let's peak. Listen, I want to know, guys, are we cursed on a row?
No, because like, listen, a lot of clubs go through this, bro. For example, Chelsea went through this last season. City went through going through it this season, right? With the number of players.
Even United.
United have gone through it. But listen, there's a season or two where sometimes, bro, your team just goes through a lot of injuries, bro. Just happening all at once.
Also, should we blame Arteta?
For some players, you can't blame him. You can't blame him for some players. I blame him for Saka.
You blame the manager.
For Saka, for example,
I blame the fan base.
You blame the fan base. What?
Yeah.
You sound like Liga.
Possibly. You guys listen, these players have been run down to a certain point because they've had to play to try to win big honors. They've fallen short. That does take its toll. But at the same time, this is football. Injuries happen. There's no curse. There's no manager managing poorly. Sometimes it's a case of, you know what, wrong place, wrong time. Because I've seen injuries. We've all seen injuries at our clubs. It just so happens that maybe where you invested with regards to like a Gabriel Jesus, for example, because he has been injury prone. Like I shouldn't say injury prone, but he's been injury prone there. He did suffer a major injury while at City. You're taking your risks. But some of these hamstring injuries, I think it's just a state of football these days. Physically, a lot is being demanded on these players. It's no longer kind of like the knocks, the niggles that kind of happen, like, you know, muscular bruises. In this case, is actually some like, you know, because of the exertion with regards to physicality, you're seeing a lot more hamstrings, calves, quads, you know, hips, groin injuries, right? So yeah, there's no curse, Gal. Don't try to get us to show pity on you or feel sorry for Arsenal. It's the same everywhere. It's just your case this season. You'll be back next year. We got you favorites for next year.
There are limits to what the human body can carry out, the actions they can do, right? And ultimately, when you push up against that limit, each player would have their own individual limit. So some might have a greater physical capacity than others just naturally, but at the same time, when you push up against that barrier, the risk of injury increases exponentially. Now, some of these guys, maybe it may just be unfortunate, but if you push them and push them and push them, I'm not just talking Arteta and Arsenal, I'm talking international football, all these cup competitions, all the summers where you only have 2 weeks off and things like that. Inevitably, that's what's going to happen because the human body can only withstand so much. So you could get lucky. That's why bigger squads are needed. That's it.
Good point.
Okay, so basically, no sympathy for Arsenal. Get over it.
It's not a question of sympathy though, because when we're understanding why it's happening. That we're saying that these guys are pushed and pushed and pushed. So we're understanding. We're not knocking Arsenal. We're saying that this stuff does happen, and the only way I can think to mitigate it, the only thing I can think to mitigate it is bigger squads.
I get it. Man,
invest in Haaland. Invest in Haaland, bro. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Haaland has produced a couple good players this season.
That's what I'm saying. Keep investing, bro. Keep investing.
Hey, Manchester United even stole 2 of them. I'm kind of disappointed. They took Heaven. But Kivior, Ben White, Timber. Those are the 3 options to play a centre back to cover for Gabriel.
Is Timber available for you against Madrid?
I would play Timber centre back and Ben White right back.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because you can't.
Yeah, that's probably the best case scenario.
In the worst case scenario, I'd even play Kieran Tierney at centre back before Kivior.
I mean, that's just taking the piss, but you can't play Kivior versus Mbappe. That just cannot happen.
Kivior versus Mbappe, barbecue chicken.
Kivior versus Everton, but not Mbappe.
Just going back to what I was saying.
Kivior against Rodrigo, bro. Oh my lord.
The clubs themselves are to blame as well. Your club, my club, all of us, because these clubs are happy to take the money from the UEFA and Champions League and all this kind of stuff and run their players
play more games.
So we all have to take, not we as fans, but we all fans as well, because even when players are rested, why is he resting for this game?
Me and Veta's team, bro, after the season ends, bro. Hey guys, you only got 2 week holiday, bro. You're back in training after 2 weeks. Legit, bro. We're back in training.
The only person who's there from that Champions League winning team is like who? Reece James?
Listen, man. The game's the game. I don't see any UCL Arsenal winners. So hey.
Hey,
They're
we
land.
got two of your UCL winners,
Who's that?
Kai Havertz and Jorginho.
So you got the Chelsea UCL winners, and they're bottling at Arsenal as well. Interesting.
No.
Thank you.
Hey, they're in a better position than you. But look, long story short,
Trophyless and trophyless. So nothing changed.
no, you actually have a chance to win one. You should.
Listen, if you count the Conference League, Alvaro, come on, bro. Let's have some
If you
decorum
don't
here.
win the Conference League,
We're winning. Listen, we have to listen. If you can cook me for not winning the Conference League, but we have. I don't even consider that a
All
trophy.
right.
In
Alas,
Chelsea's
guys,
image.
we got to wrap it up. I got to put my son to bed. I'm going to say one thing and one thing only. We will come back to actually speak about the games that happened this weekend on Sunday. Today, there's been a lot of admin work we needed to get over. We spoke about Salah. We spoke about top four. We spoke about Ruben Amorim. We spoke about Kevin De Bruyne. We spoke about Gabriel'S. We spoke about Ange. And I know Jay seemed very frustrated because he wanted to get a little bit on every topic, but I'm sorry, not today. Next time, Sunday, we'll have more time to talk about every topic. But love for the love, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I know the pace of the show goes quite quick when it's an hour and a half and not the usual 2 hours, but love for the love, people. We'll catch you on the next one, and I appreciate you guys watching. Peace out.
Peace.